Hello, and welcome to HRBC's show called Let's Talk. I'm Nina, your host. So last year, our state made history and elected an African American woman as lieutenant governor. Since then, we have been watching and excuse me, we have been watching the Honorable Lieutenant Governor Sears do some amazing things. Today, we have her as a guest and get a chance to see what she has been up to. Welcome. Tell us a little about yourself for those who don't look at any electronic devices.
Well, thank you for having me. Well, goodness, where do I start? So I was born in Jamaica. My father brought me to America when I was 6 years old, and raised in the Bronx. Did some of my schooling in Jamaica. Came back and finished high school here, and joined the Marine Corps. What else can I tell you? Father came to America with $1.75 in his pocket, took any job he could find, put himself through school, and now he's comfortably retired. And that's why education is so important to me, because I know that if our children get a good education, they can just doors will open, and if they don't open, they can kick them down. But at least when they kick them down, they have the qualifications.
HRBC show. I apologize for that. All right. So tell us how you felt the first time you presided over the Senate.
Well, you might have thought that I would be a little bit nervous, but remember that we had gone through the whole weekend of inauguration. So I had pretty much lost my voice, and it was my voice that I needed to preside over the Senate. And then I had something of a little bit of a cold. So, I was barely speaking, some of the times, and I had to clear my throat a lot. But I don't know. I think the Lord blessed me so that I could preside pretty well. I think my first 3 days I did pretty well. And then, and it just felt like I had done it before, and so it was just a matter of calling on them and learning more about the procedures, because I did go through some training, but there's training and then there's the real thing. So, but I think we did all right.
Okay. Who are your role models? Who encourages you to be great?
The people around me, I see the everyday people, like, my pastors, the people who are my friends, just regular people, people I meet in my life. No, you might think that there's some big wig, but no, I see how people relate to other people, and it tells me that I can learn from them. And even one of my daughters, she's a little bit outgoing in a way that I'm not outgoing. And I've adopted some of what she does. And she thinks that she doesn't know that she's influenced my life. So just regular people.
Okay. Now, this is the most important question that I have today. Who do you root for when the Army plays the Navy in football?
Well, I probably root for the Navy, if
Good
that's if
choice.
I bother with it, because the Marine Corps is a department of the Navy, so we want to say go Navy. But really, when I root for a football team, I go for the Raiders. The Raiders are my team, and they've been my team ever since I was 17 and growing up in New York.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, I have some more questions. Are you aware the Africans trying to escape Ukraine are experiencing discrimination? And what are your thoughts?
I've heard some of it, as I've been watching television when I have an opportunity. I hear some of it, and I'm not, I don't know that I remember exactly how they say they were discriminated against, but it bothers me, uh, because, that could have been me. I look like those people that they're being discriminated against. So I think when people are hurting, they hurt other people. So I hope that I think they're safe now. The Africans are safe. They're out of the country. So I can only hope that things are better.
Okay. Now, I know that the parole board selected didn't pass Senate, and both parties are technically responsible since Republicans fired the old board and Democrats didn't accept the new one.
Hmm.
And it seems to be the trend to fire people simply because they aren't in the controlling party. Where does the parole board stand now, and how will you help both parties see the advantages of working together to help us, the citizens?
Well, I think that there was no secret that the governor said that if he was elected, he was going to fire the parole board just because of all the problems that had happened. You know, they were under investigation and they fired the whistleblower. The parole board at the time did. We have to know that the people who are in charge aren't lashing out against the other people who are saying you're doing things wrong, and then you come down hard on the whistleblower. So it was expected that that would happen, but then for the retaliation, ultimately we're talking about people who are incarcerated, who have, yes, they did the crime, they've done the time, and now they're trying to get out so that they can be the mommies and daddies that we need. We can't play with their lives. Everybody knew what was coming. They knew that that old parole board was going to be gone. uh, a new parole board was put forward, and instead of, if Democrats are going to take something out on Republicans, don't use the parole board to do that. Do it some other way. And by the way, you know what I dislike? I dislike when people are being disingenuous about how the world works. Everybody knows that when the new administration comes into town, the old people go. Everybody knows that. It has been done since Adam was a lad. And yet we have Democrats who are shocked, shocked, shocked that this is the kind of thing that happens. It happens. I just don't like to play games with people's lives. So what I would say is, right now, people are playing games with the budget. Let's just get through the business of the Commonwealth. Let's get the people's business done. And if you're going to play games, then do it politically, but don't do it with the budget. Don't do it with people's lives. Let's just work together to get things done. We're not going to agree on everything. It's impossible to agree on everything. Even people of the same party don't agree on everything. But let's find the compromise and let's move. Let's not try to keep placing blame. Let's not try to keep, making one person look smaller than the other. Let's stop calling each other names. Let's just be adults and do the people's business.
Okay, so where does the parole board stand now?
Right now, the parole board, there is none. There is no parole board. There's one person, and one person cannot decide anything when it comes to parole. So we need a whole new set of names, and then we'll see what the Senate does with those people. Will they say no? And by the way, the Senate brought up that list of people, even though it hadn't been presented to them. They brought up those names and they voted on those names to fire them. You see what I mean? They purposely did that. Those names were never given to them. They brought it up themselves. So there is no parole board. So if you know somebody who's seeking parole, well, you can kiss that goodbye, because until we get a parole board, names that the Senate accepts, there will be no parole. That's it. There is no parole, and there will be no parole until the Senate Democrats say parole will happen.
Well, that is unfortunate. All right, so tell us what you have accomplished in the short time you have been in office and what you want to accomplish while in office.
So, one of the very first things relating to my job, because you know how we like to say, you have one job, you have one. So, I presided over the Senate, and I think I did that pretty successfully. The training and learning as I went along the way, and giving everybody an opportunity to talk about their bills. Everybody an opportunity to try to influence other people. I didn't pick sides. Um, and so I hopefully I got that done well. But then I got two opportunities to break a tie. My very first opportunity was where we had a bill. A Democrat put the bill through. It didn't matter who, but it was a Democrat, just to give you some background information. And the bill, it was a good sounding bill. And it was, if you are a judge and you go outside of the sentencing guidelines, then it wants you to give a reasonable written report on why you did so. That sounds wonderful. Except when you read the details, it doesn't define what a reasonable written report is. And so everybody would then say they weren't given a reasonable written report, and that would be grounds for a whole new trial or to get rid of the charge in the first place. That was not going to be good, because then it's going to clog up the system. Those people who absolutely need to for their cases to be heard, they have to wait, and it was just going to be a big mess. So I vetoed that, and said, I'm not veto, but I voted against it, and told them, go back and make the bill better. It's a good idea. Go back and make it better. They did. It passed. It is now in front of the governor. So that was the first opportunity. The second opportunity was a First Amendment right. And it was hidden in the budget bill. Imagine that. It had nothing to do with money. Budgeting is about money. But these are some of the tactics that, unfortunately, these are some of the games that we play. And so that one was in the budget bill, where they were trying to get at one person, one person. And again, it was the Democrats playing a game, trying to get rid of one person. But because they were trying to get at that one person, it would have taken away First Amendment rights to protest from everybody, everybody. So I vetoed that too. And then the final thing, which isn't final, but I've been going around and visiting schools because, as I told you, education is important to me. And I wanted the children, especially who look like me, to understand that I am here. And if I can do it, you can do it too. Encourage them, have them, touch and touch my pin, to say, yes, Winsome is there, to let them know I'm not an outlier. I didn't do anything special. You can do it too.
Okay. So, what are some things you want to accomplish?
Yeah.
What do you
So
want to do?
I want to start doing, well, even more of, is going around and truly visiting the neighborhoods, visiting the schools. I heard about a business that was going to be leaving town. It was going to be pulling a lot of jobs here. I just contacted them to say, come back. Maybe we can work something out, because we need businesses to stay here. I'm looking at uh, more educational opportunities. I want people to understand that this is their government, that government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. So the government necessarily has to be answerable to you. For example, I just had a group of Girl Scouts here, so I want to be available. I want to be available. And the Girl Scouts came in, and we talked about a lot of things. And yes, they're younger, but if we can teach them now that this is their government, the mansion doesn't belong to us. The governor's mansion, it belongs to them. The house up there is their house. House of Delegates, the Senate, those are their chambers. And just reminding them how wonderful it is to have rights and have people who represent them.
Awesome. And I have a sneak question. How do you think this eliminating gas tax thing is going to go?
Yeah, if I knew that, I should go buy some lottery numbers. I think, you know what? I don't know. It could be 50-50. I understand where some of them are coming from, that part of it funds very good, programs, but people are hurting. And goodness, if Maryland can have a gas tax holiday, why can't we have one here in Virginia? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, in Maryland, Republicans are numbered by registered Democrats 2-1, and yet they have a gas tax holiday. Why can't we have that here? So I'm hoping that people will see the light and say, give the people, a break. Same thing with the grocery tax. The grocery tax is a regressive tax. Why am I paying tax on groceries? They're expensive enough. We're experiencing inflation. It's like so many things are coming hard on us. We, the people, need a relief. And so
Yes.
I'm hoping that we can come to some kind of agreement.
Me too. Well, that is all the questions that I have for you. Is there any closing statements you want to make?
Yeah. Having come from a third world country and having seen that, yes, America has issues, but my God, she has certainly moved past certain points, because otherwise I would not be here. So I want to keep telling our children that we are overcomers. We will continue to be overcomers, that life comes at you hard and life will call your bluff. But no matter what color you are, you're gonna have problems. But remember, this is your life, and you have to take it, and you have to take charge, because really nobody's gonna care as much as you're gonna care. And so don't let things get you down. Keep going, keep thriving, keep striving. We need you. Don't leave the battlefield, because you'll lose 100% of the battles you walk away from. And we're not walking away. We will have a seat at the table, no matter which political party has the upper hand. We must be represented. And most people probably don't understand. I'm not trying to get all Black people to become Republicans. I want political power in the same way that everybody else has. There are white Democrats and white Republicans. There are white Republicans. Why can't there be black Republicans? You see, yes, that's what we want. We want to make sure everybody has a seat at the table, no matter who's in charge.
Yes. We got a Facebook question. Do you have time for me to read it?
Okay, one more, and then I do have to run.
Yes, ma'am. All right. It says, "Hello, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you for your service. Bianca here. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to attend the City of Norfolk City Council public meetings and a work session. What are your thoughts on community positive impact being torn down by rezoning and losing hope for their community?"
Okay, explain to me community impact. What is a community?
Um, let's see. At the city council meeting, there were about 70 speakers for various issues. One community concern of the community was rezoning a church that has been used for positive impact in the community. Concerning rezoning a church that has been in positive impact in the community of.
Okay, so it sounds like there was a church and people used it to meet, and it was, as you said, a positive impact in the community, but your local elected officials have decided to rezone, and I guess it's being torn down. Is that the question?
I, I, I can
Think,
only guess.
let's say that's the question.
Okay.
Well, remember, you elected those people, and so you've got to go petition those people and say, we don't want the church torn down. We want you to keep it as a facility that's accessible to the community, because it sounds like it was centrally enough located that people were able to get to it. And it was a positive thing. If they're going to tear it down, then ask, what are you going to put in its place? Are you going to give us a better facility, a newer facility that will give us a place to land. It will give us a place to meet. These are local issues. And I would say you've got to talk to your local leaders about these things. And, but they're not going to listen unless you have a majority. So you've got to find like minded people who care in the way that you do. Because I tell you, one thing I've always heard, politicians, maybe they can't read, but they can count.
All right. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for wanting to hear from me. It's good. Keep in touch.
All right.
Thank you.